Before there was cybersecurity, there was chaos. And one kid with a cereal box whistle. This is the complete story of hacking, every major attack, every turning point, every lesson, and every threat that's coming for all of us. 65 years of history in one video. If you watch nothing else today, watch this. 1960s. A young blind man named John Draper discovers that a toy whistle from a Cap'n Crunch cereal box produces a 2600 Hz tone, the exact frequency that AT&T used to signal an open long-distance phone line. He could make free calls to anywhere on Earth. He didn't do it for money. He did it because it worked. That curiosity, that obsession with understanding exactly how systems work, is the DNA of every hacker who came after him. And then two college kids named Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs heard about this. They built electronic versions and sold them. Steve Jobs later said it was Apple's first product. 2nd November 1988. Cornell University graduate student Robert Morris releases what becomes the first major internet worm. He claims it was a research experiment. Within 24 hours it had infected 6,000 machines, roughly 10% of the entire internet at the time. Computers crawled to a halt. The financial damage, $100 million. Robert Morris became the first person convicted under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. He later became a professor at MIT and a successful startup founder. The lesson wasn't that he was evil. The lesson was that one person with one idea and a connected network can break everything. Kevin Mitnick was the most wanted computer criminal in US history. The FBI hunted him for 3 years. His weapon wasn't code. It was his voice. He would call up phone company employees, pretend to be a technician, and get them to hand over access codes. He broke into Nokia, Motorola, the Pentagon, mostly by just asking politely in the right way. Social engineering. When he was finally caught in 1995, the judge ordered him held without bail because the prosecution claimed he could start a nuclear war by whistling into a phone. He couldn't. But it made great headlines. He spent 5 years in prison, was banned from computers for 3 years after release, and then became the world's most famous security consultant. 2002. The U.S. Naval Research Laboratory develops Tor, the onion router. The concept, route traffic through multiple encrypted nodes so no single point knows both the source and destination. Military intelligence could communicate without exposure. It worked brilliantly. So brilliantly that when they open sourced it, the criminal underground adopted it immediately. The US government accidentally built the world's most powerful anonymous network, and then couldn't control what happened inside it. Today, the dark web hosts New York Times whistleblowing portals and active ransomware markets simultaneously. Both things are equally true. In 2008, Anonymous declares war on the Church of Scientology after a leaked Tom Cruise video is removed from the internet. What starts as a joke on internet forums evolves into the world's first decentralized hacker army. No leadership. No membership. No rules. Just a shared mask and a shared enemy. Operation Payback takes down MasterCard and PayPal when they cut off WikiLeaks donations. Operation Tunisia helps fuel the Arab Spring. LulzSec hacks the FBI, CIA, and Sony for entertainment, and publishes the results. Hacktivism proves that ideology can be as powerful as any exploit. 2010 Stuxnet changes warfare permanently. A cyberweapon so sophisticated it took the security world 2 years to fully understand it. Jointly developed by the United States and Israel, it had one job: destroy Iran's uranium enrichment centrifuges. It used 4 zero-day vulnerabilities simultaneously, never done before. It spread on USB drives, infected Windows systems globally, but only activated when it found specific Siemens industrial controllers spinning at specific speeds. It made those centrifuges spin too fast, destroying them, while showing operators that everything was normal. The operators were watching alive while their machines disintegrated around them. The line between cyberattack and physical warfare blurred forever. 5th June 2013. The Guardian publishes the first of thousands of classified NSA documents leaked by Edward Snowden. Prism. The NSA had direct server access to Google, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Yahoo, Skype, and YouTube. Xkeyscore. Analysts could search the internet history of virtually anyone on Earth, with their own word as the only authorization. Muscular. The NSA secretly tapped Google's own internal fiber links, reading traffic that never left the company's own networks. The surveillance machine that everyone suspected existed, it existed, and it was far larger than anyone had imagined. Snowden fled to Russia. His revelations directly caused the explosion of end-to-end encryption adoption that we live with today. 12th May 2017. WannaCry hits 150 countries in 72 hours. It uses Eternal Blue, a Windows exploit developed by the NSA, stolen by shadow brokers, and released to the public. It spreads automatically with zero user interaction. It encrypts everything it touches and demands Bitcoin. The UK's National Health Service is crippled, hospitals turn away patients, surgeries are cancelled, lives are at genuine risk. A 22-year-old British security researcher named Marcus Hutchins discovers a domain name hidden in the malware's code. He registers it for $10.69, accidentally activating a kill switch the authors had built in as a debugging feature. $4 billion in damage. Stopped by an accidental $10 purchase. December 2020. FireEye's security team discovers something in their own network they didn't expect. Russian SVR hackers had been inside SolarWinds, a network monitoring company used by 33,000 organizations, since March. They inserted malicious code called Sunburst into a legitimate software update. 18,000 organizations downloaded and installed the malware themselves. Microsoft, Intel, Cisco, the Pentagon, the US Treasury, the Department of Homeland Security, all compromised. The hackers were inside for 14 months before anyone noticed. They chose patience over action. Watching. Learning. Extracting selectively. The most sophisticated supply chain attack in history. Now let me show you how real professional hacking actually works, because it looks nothing like the movies. Every professional penetration test and every real-world attack follows the same methodology. Reconnaissance, gathering information about the target from public sources. Scanning, actively probing systems for open ports and vulnerable services. Exploitation, using discovered vulnerabilities to gain initial access. Privilege escalation, moving from limited user to administrator to root. Lateral movement, spreading through the network to reach the real target. Reporting and remediation, documenting findings and helping fix them. The difference between an ethical hacker and a criminal is a signed piece of paper called a statement of work. The techniques are identical. Here is what nobody in the movies gets right. There is no single type of hacker. There are fundamentally different categories with completely different motivations, methods, and legal standing. White hats are authorized ethical hackers. They get paid to break things, they disclose what they find, they protect organizations. Black hats are criminals who do it for money, power, or ideology. Gray hats operate in the legal middle ground, breaking in without permission but usually disclosing. Hacktivists are politically motivated. State-sponsored actors have virtually unlimited resources and almost never face consequences. And script kiddies, who use tools they don't understand, are dangerous nonetheless because the tools do real damage regardless of the operator's skill level. Let me show you the actual toolkit that professional penetration testers use every single day. Nmap, port scanning and service discovery. Burp Suite, the essential web application proxy for every single web pentest. Metasploit, the most comprehensive exploit framework ever built. Wireshark, packet capture and network analysis. Hashcat, the fastest password cracking tool on earth. Nikto, GoBuster, FUF, web vulnerability scanning and directory brute forcing. Bloodhound, Active Directory relationship mapping. Mimix, Windows credential extraction. Every single one is legal to learn and practice with unauthorized platforms like HackTheBox and TryHackMe. The tool is never the issue. Authorization is everything. And then in 2024, everything we thought we knew about the hacking landscape became obsolete. For 60 years the equation was, skilled attacker plus time equals compromise. I broke both sides. A researcher team at the University of Illinois published the study that changed everything. GPT-4 agents successfully exploited 87% of one-day CVEs, given only the CVE description, no exploit code, no hints. 87%. No human team scores that well. And the cost? $20 per month for API access. A 10-person red team engagement costing 50 lakh rupees is now replicable for 1,600 rupees. The asymmetry between attack economics and defense economics is the most dangerous development in the history of cybersecurity. Let me walk you through the complete hall of infamy. The biggest confirmed hacks, ranked by their historical impact. Yahoo 2013, 3 billion accounts. Every Yahoo account on earth. State-sponsored. Discovered 3 years later during acquisition due diligence with Verizon. Equifax 2017. 147 million social security numbers. Half of America's credit data. An unpatched Apache Struts vulnerability that had a fix available for 2 months. SolarWinds 2020, 18,000 organizations. The most sophisticated supply chain attack attributed to any nation-state. Colonial Pipeline 2021, 45% of U.S. East Coast fuel supply disrupted by a single stolen password with no MFA on a VPN. And India 2024, 1.4 billion records leaked in a single year. The worst breach year in Indian history. You want to do this for a living. Here is the exact part that nobody clearly explains. NetworkCheck built 4.3 million subscribers teaching networking fundamentals energetically. John Hammond built 2 million subscribers doing CTF walkthroughs. The Cyber Mentor built an entire business teaching OSCP preparation. What they all have in common, they practiced in public, they documented their learning, and they never stopped. Step 1. Learn TCP/IP networking, Linux command line, and Python basics. CompTIA Network Plus is your foundation. Step 2. Practice legally on TryHackMe, HackTheBox, and Portswigger Web Academy. All have free tiers. Step 3. Get certified. CompTIA Security Plus opens doors. OSCP is the gold standard. Step 4. Build in public. Your GitHub and your write-ups are worth more than any certificate. India has 3.5 million cybersecurity professionals, the second largest pool in the world. And in the new era skills, almost zero trained practitioners. The global cybersecurity skills gap is 4 million unfilled positions. India's share of that gap is enormous and growing. The transformation of the field is creating entirely new job categories that simply didn't exist 2 years ago. Red team engineer, 50 to 80 lakhs, near zero supply. SOC architect, 60 to 90 lakhs. Every major bank and enterprise needs one desperately. Threat intelligence engineer, 40 to 70 lakhs. Security engineer protecting India's critical infrastructure, 60 to 90 lakhs. India's cybersecurity market will reach $35 billion by 2028. The professionals who understand both traditional security and the transformation, they are the most valuable people in the country right now. Let me tell you what's coming. Quantum computing isn't just a buzzword. A sufficiently powerful quantum computer can break RSA-2048 encryption in hours. Every message, every banking transaction, every VPN session encrypted today is potentially being recorded right now to decrypt later, when quantum computers are ready. This is called harvest now, decrypt later, and intelligence agencies confirm it is actively happening. NIST published post-quantum cryptography standards in 2024. Migration to quantum-resistant algorithms is beginning now. Fully autonomous attack swarms, 50 specialized agents working in parallel, are being prototyped. Biometric bypass at scale. The defenders are building the response in parallel. FIDO2 passkeys. C2PA content authenticity. Post-quantum migration. The arms race continues. The defenders always catch up. The internet runs on trust. Every time you tap your UPI app, every time you send a message, every time a hospital computer retrieves your medical history, you are trusting a chain of systems written by humans who made mistakes that other humans are now trying to find before criminals do. Cybersecurity professionals are the people who hold that trust together. Kevin Mitnick hacked because he was curious. Cap'n Crunch hacked because a whistle worked. Marcus Hutchins stopped WannaCry because he was curious about the code. The hack is neutral. What you do with the knowledge is everything. You are watching this video because you are curious. You want to understand how things work at the level below the interface. That curiosity is the foundation of every great security professional who ever lived. Don't let anyone tell you it's too technical, too late, or too hard. You are already asking the right questions. Comment history made below if you watched this whole video. Tell me which era hit you hardest: phone phreaking, Stuxnet, SolarWinds, the revolution. I'm reading every single comment and replying this week. If this video taught you something that nobody had ever explained to you this way, smash the like button. It changes how many people the algorithm shows this to. Subscribe and hit the bell. I do this every single week. And if you know someone trying to break into cybersecurity, or trying to understand what the threat landscape actually means, share this with them. It might be the most useful thing you do for them this year. The Network Night Out.